back. Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. This is going to be our Week 12 NFL recap. I think we got some exciting games this week. To be honest, I feel like the early slate was pretty good. I think we had 2 overtime games. A few games came down to the wire as well. We have a bunch of teams, especially in the AFC, in the playoff picture. So a lot of games, especially this late in the season, are pivotal. And so we're going to talk about some of those pivotal games, some of the biggest headlines of Week 12. Starting off with the Rams obliterating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now as we speak. God damn it, Ibuka, please, I need something. But we're at the end of the week, obviously. I mean, there's a Monday Night Football game, but it's the Panthers and the 49ers. Not too many headlines or anything to talk about. Not too many significant
Two winning teams, though, no? Two winning teams?
Yeah, the Panthers are a possible wild card team, I believe. And I mean, obviously, the 49ers are also a possible wild card team. So there are some implications, but not enough to wait a whole day to record the Week 12 recap. So we're gonna start off with the Rams obliterating the Buccaneers, and then move on to some of the other games on the schedule. Make sure you guys like the video. That really helps us get on the algorithm and give us more views and more subscribers. And then follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen to help us gain there as well. And also keep up with when we're uploading. All right, so we're going to talk about the Rams. They just dominated the Buccaneers. The game is still going on. It's still 13 minutes left, but they lead 34-7. Baker Mayfield exited the game with a shoulder injury, and now Teddy Bridgewater is in the game. But regardless, even when he was in the game, he didn't have much of an effect. The Rams thoroughly dominated the Buccaneers, as they have thoroughly dominated a few teams over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They haven't had a close game in a minute, honestly. I think they had a close game against the Seahawks. I think last
week.
But kind of felt like they were controlling that game too. Created 4 turnovers on Sam Darnold. So the Rams, and we're going to talk about this, look like the best team in the football in NFL right now. So that's where I'm going to start with our line of questioning, and what we're going to discuss with the Rams. Max, do you think the Rams are the best team in the NFL and should be the favorites to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl?
It's pretty hard to say not to. At the start of the year, coming into the year, I got a little bit of flack for not having the Eagles in my NFC Championship. I had the Rams versus the Lions, and I think when you talked about this week, there were good games. It was like there were good games, but like they weren't supposed to be. And it was like when the Lions kept it close to the Giants, you had the Patriots couldn't kind of put the Bengals away. A couple weird games. Obviously, I think some teams played to their opponents' floors, but I still think there are a lot of good teams out in the NFL, clearly, but it's pretty competitive, I think, when you see teams like how Philly lost today, how Detroit almost lost today, and Seattle put away business. So I think there's somewhere, again, it's a week-to-week thing, but I agree. I think LA has pretty much been their 2 losses are to the Eagles and Philly off that last second field goal. And who's their other loss to?
The
I got it
49ers.
right. The 49ers at home, actually. But
That's
either way,
Kyron Williams fumbled on the goal line.
division matchup too. Division matchups are tough. But I do think this team coming into the year, I love the receiving core, obviously. The offense looks fine, and Matt Stafford is playing insane football. And that's the key in this entire situation, is the defense is going to be the defense. They have good pieces put together. Emmanuel Forbes had a good pass breakup. Emmanuel Forbes is damn near off a roster and has been able to be playable. Poona Ford, I like coming over. Like, I like this team a lot. But the issue for other teams is they have the quarterback. They have Matt Stafford, and Matt Stafford's played at an MVP level, and he's done it before. So I think all these things mixed in together, if they can stay healthy for sure, they should be the favorites, especially in the NFC. If you still believe in whoever else in the AFC, that's fine. But I think that this team currently playing right now is the team I would be the most confident in rolling into the Super Bowl. So I think Philly obviously can play good football when they want to. Today was not that day. Detroit the same way. Um, the Rams already got that first matchup versus Seattle. They're killing Tampa before the Baker injury. Like, I don't know. Again, I guess depending on situation or who's got home field advantage, I don't know who's competing with the Rams currently right now in the NFC. But
Yeah, I think the Rams have clearly established themselves as the best team in the NFL and the premier team in the NFC. They should be the favorites to make the Super Bowl at this juncture in the season. This is a team that is, as far as like EPA per play, are in the top 10 on both sides of the ball. They have a quarterback right now playing the best. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback right now playing the best football of his entire career. They have one of the best head coaches in the entire NFL. They have a defense with playmakers on it that can get to the passer. They have a offense with two elite wide receivers on it, a good running back, a solid offensive line. Like they have a really, really well balanced team, and I think they've clearly been the best team through 12 weeks of the season. I don't think it's much of an argument against it. Their two losses have came on last second losses against the 49ers, and then that last second loss to the Eagles when they were in position to win a game, both of those games. Against the Eagles, they got a kick blocked, and against the 49ers, Kyron Williams fumbled on the goal line. So this team, and then on that fourth down conversion, he didn't get the fourth down conversion. This team is really well balanced, really well coached. They have the experience as well with McVay already been to two Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford already won a Super Bowl. Devontae Adams has played a ton of playoff games. This team is the favorite in the entire league, I think, and they should be like number one on everybody's power rankings. Going deeper, some of the pieces on the defense I've been really impressed with. Cam Curl, Durant. What you mentioned earlier, Emmanuel Forbes looked like he's going to be out of the league, and he looks like he's pretty fine if it's not AJ Brown. Honestly, he's still super skinny, so I think he struggles with pressing people at the line, and also dealing with physical receivers. But I think he's best in zone coverage. He's a ball hawk in college. I think that's what he's pretty much been in the entire in the league this season as well. I think he's been. I want to check the numbers, but from what I watched, it seems like he's been better in man coverage this season as well. Again, I think he just struggles with physical receiver because he's skinny.
little. Yeah.
He's little. But I think his man coverage has been much better than what it was to begin his career. So
It is insane. Like, first round pick was obviously like thought to be a swing at the time. Terrible defense. Like, Washington was not good, and he was just pointed to be the issue of all of it. I feel like with how skinny and little he was, and now you take a chance on him, and he's been playable.
He's been playable. And his defense has been pretty good all year as well. Okay, I'm gonna need some help. Q want me to send the link again. But let's talk about the flip side of this with the Buccaneers. They're gonna drop to 6-5 now. Mike Evans was basically out for the regular season. They've had a number of injuries. Bucky Irving got injured as well. I think Vita Vea missed time. They have injuries up and down the lineup on both sides of the ball. Where do they go from here in terms of their season? And now Baker is out with an elbow injury. I do think it's to his non-throwing shoulder, but that type of thing can keep you out for a minute. So where do the Buccaneers pretty much go from here? They're 6-5. I think they're battling with the Panthers for the division right now.
So you got to wait on that injury, obviously, right? Nothing's going to really be decided until that injury. I mean, you still control your destiny for the most part. You got to go handle business versus Carolina again, but like you still could easily win your division, barring Baker's doesn't have a season-ending injury. The next couple of games for them, like you get the Cardinals, you get the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Dolphins, the Panthers. So they haven't played the Panthers at all. It's a cakewalk schedule. I honestly think that Teddy Bridgewater's not great, but he could maybe push you to get a win or two there, especially if Baker can get back. like this team is definitely in position to try and run it back and win the division. It's more what you look at for the future. And I really don't think that there's a whole lot you can do right now. Their defense has kind of been the thing to point at for years. They had issues with the O line, I think, with health last year. But like this team's fine. It's on Baker's timetable now. So you get Bucky Irving back healthy. You get Emeka Egbuka, obviously, in the draft. If you can hopefully get Evans and Godwin healthy next year, like I'm not going to say you punt on this year because you don't. They can still go out and win the division. Maybe Baker wins a playoff game, like if he can be healthy. But right now, with all the pieces you have gone, like it is just going to be an uphill battle. Like I don't think I'm not expecting crazy things from Tampa. Uh, maybe winning a home playoff game or something. But like I don't think Carolina is very good either. So I think they should still win the division. Again, barring any crazy injury to Baker. But I really don't think there's a whole lot they can do right now, just with how their situation is. They're just in a weird spot, but like next year they're fine.
Yeah, that's not a long term type of thing, and I think they got some good young talent on this roster. McCollum was getting killed tonight by
Okay.
yeah, Devontae Adams. I like him though. I liked his performance last year. They just had way too many injuries, and that kind of made a thing over the last few seasons where there was God and where it was Mike Evans last year as well. They just cannot stay healthy, and that's been an issue for them as seasons wane. They still have a good chance of making the playoffs though. The Panthers' schedule is really tough. They got to play the Buccaneers twice, obviously. They have to play the Rams. They also have to play the 49ers tomorrow night. I really don't see that too many more wins on the Panthers schedule. I feel like they're going to probably end it with like 8 wins. But that could be enough to actually win this division. I don't know, depending on the Baker injury. We got to see. I'm not really. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater going to be able to get it done.
It's a
Wow.
bad schedule. It's a bad schedule though. It's really bad.
We're going to talk about this later, but the Raiders just fired Chip Kelly.
Oh, see?
Yeah, bro. He was the highest paid offensive coordinator in the entire NFL. But we're actually talking about the Raiders later, so we'll get to that when we get to that. But that's crazy.
Going to be studied.
But more about the Rams, man. I mean, Tay has been amazing this year. I think he's leading the league in touchdowns. He's been an insane red zone threat. Puka has been good, especially when he's been healthy. So that 1-2 punch, I think this is the best wide receiver duo in the league. I do think so.
I could have sworn I said this at the start of the year, and I got flack for it on that rating the wide receiver list. Could have sworn I put them up there.
I mean, you did, but you said it. You said they were like, I think, like on a whole different tier than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I don't think I said that. I think I said they were in the same tier.
I'll
go back and check. I'll go back and check.
I don't think that's what happened because I don't feel like people would give you pushback on that.
I think it was just Q. I think it was just you and Q. I'll go check though. I'll see.
I mean, who else was supposed to be? Who else was supposed to be?
The comment section. The truthers in the comment section.
Q, you here?
Yeah.
All right, we started the episode talking about if the Rams were the best team in the NFL. Are they the favorites in the NFC, favorites overall? I kind of feel like I know what you're going to say on that, but if you want to get your thoughts on that, and then the Buccaneers' future this season, dealing with the injuries they've done with Baker Mayfield probably missing time with that shoulder injury, and then they're dropping to 6-5 in 12 weeks.
Well, the Rams are definitely probably the best team in the NFC right now. You know, I understand people still love Philadelphia because of last year, I guess, track history, but they're the best team. Elite quarterback, elite coach, great defense, 2 elite weapons. It's hard to say. Matthew Stafford's clearly the MVP. The Bucs is just a season of injuries for them, and like the division was supposed to be easy, but the Panthers are right on their tail. So yeah, it's just a started strong, but it a lot to be desired. They were my Super Bowl pick. That was just a shot in the dark. Obviously, they're probably going to be lucky to like even make the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game.
Oh, and okay, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, their schedule isn't tough, but the Panthers' schedule is. But obviously the Buccaneers losing Baker Mayfield for any extended period of time. Already with to have the Evans injury, the Bucky Irving injury. I think Bucky Irving came back though. it's hurting them. They got a lot of people off of injury, and then your quarterback goes down with injury. That's just a killer. But another biggest the game of the week. The game of the week, honestly, so far this week. Cowboys scored 24 unanswered to upset the Eagles. Eagles was like a buzzsaw in the beginning of the game. Scored 21 points early in the third quarter, and then they couldn't score whatsoever. A lot of it was them beating themselves. In terms of penalties and turnovers, was some very uncharacteristic turnovers and penalties from the Eagles, and some special teams malfunctions, some just very uncharacteristic mistakes from the Eagles led to them losing this game. So the questions for me for this game, and then we could just talk about the game in general. What does this loss mean for the Eagles? I mean, not to overreact or anything. I mean, they are still second in the NFC, and then also, are the Cowboys a threat to make the playoffs? Like, what's your confidence level in them making the playoffs? They're 5-5-1. Got a blockbuster matchup with the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Both teams have to win games. The Chiefs are 6-5. They're 5-5-1. It's so many implications in that game on Thursday. Max, let's start with the Cowboys. How did they come back in this game? Let's start there. What was the process of them coming back?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't even know. It's all karma from the missed block punt. The miss, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Like, I think we see this with the Eagles time and time again, and it's nothing to take away from the Cowboys. Like, I don't think that's it at all. My thing with them going forward is just like, I would love to say that this train goes as far as Dak and this offense will take it, but we've seen how bad the defense can be at times, and it just simply is not going to. It can't sustain for that long. So again, overall for the season, I think that they are definitely a threat to make the playoffs, especially with how I see some of the other teams in their same area. But I mean, like you said, it is the technical things that Philly messed up on. It's missing field goals. It's fumbles. Did Jalen Hurts throw an interception in the second half? No.
Jalen Hurts, no.
No.
Well, Jalen Hurts didn't have a turnover, no.
So, but it's like first drive of the second half, 3 plays. Second drive, 6. Third drive, 3 plays. Like, Philly just kept getting off the field. Again, Dallas kept making stops, like more power to them, but like there was no offensive gel to get going. You missed the field goal. That's even I just feel like that's just another blow. Like, I don't know. Philly just beats himself up over this, I feel like, every year with a game or two in a game they should win. I don't know like what the stats are in the past couple of years about Philly versus Dallas. I feel like Philly has kind of had their number for a while now. I'm very much like,
hell no.
Is it not? Has it been split?
Always.
Has it been a win your game home and away?
Pretty much, but Dak always carves the Eagles. That always happens. Whether they win or lose is up in the air, but Dak always plays well.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying who's win the games. Let me see the exact call. Last 10 games. So coming into it, Philly won 4 of the last 5. And 2 of them were
pretty. They like 3 of those games.
Huh?
Dak ain't played 3 of those games.
Oh, there you go. All right. I don't know. I think that the Cowboys, like, they keep faking me out this year. They played really shit again, versus us. They played down their competition a lot this year. All that's been due to the defense. But then they come out with this kind of win where I don't think Philly's a fake team at all. Don't get me wrong. I know we just talked about it before. Like, Philly's a good football team and definitely a threat in the NFC. And to come back in this kind of game is huge. But, like, I don't know if I'm going to see this Dallas Cowboys team every single week with how bad they've played to some of their opponents. So, I don't know. This team doesn't fail to shock me with how they've played on some of these games. Like, they just lost the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. So, I'm still kind of torn.
Yeah, in terms of this game, I just feel like, again, I feel like the Eagles did a lot of beating themselves. Obviously, you have to up 21-0 and then not scoring for the last 30 minutes of the game probably. It was too many costly penalties, and they've been one of the best teams in terms of special teams, in terms of penalties. that's pretty much how they've been winning games, avoiding penalties, and creating turnovers, and having the better special teams than their opponents. That's pretty much how they've been successful this season, despite their offensive struggles. But we've seen so many peaks and valleys from this team in terms of their offense. Like in the first half, they couldn't be stopped offensively, and then in the second half, they couldn't execute. Well, they actually made some big plays in the second half as well, but penalties hurt them every time they made a big play. But again, we've seen the peaks and valleys from this team. In the first half, they really was a buzzsaw. Second half couldn't score at all. I think Jalen Hurts struggled with pressure a bit in the second half. They couldn't connect on some really big plays. He didn't take that many sacks, but he got inaccurate under pressure in the second half. They could not run the ball at all. Saquon Barkley was averaging 2.2 yards per carry, and then they just abandoned the running game at some point in this game. I think the loss of Lane Johnson was very, very apparent because the Cowboys pretty much dominated the line of scrimmage in the second half. So when you force the Eagles to have to throw the ball, I think that their chances of winning goes down dramatically. And Jalen Hurts wasn't bad by any stretch of imagination. His connection with A.J. Brown was on point early in this game. Devontae Smith made some great plays. I think A.J. Brown had a $110 plus. And Smitty, he wanted some plays back throughout his game, but he had a pretty good game too. But again, uncharacteristic loss for them. I'm not overreacting to the loss. I don't think it means much, to be honest. They've won so many of these games this year. So I'm not hitting the panic button whatsoever. And I don't really think this game is, to be honest, that notable in the grand scheme of things. However, though, they did lose it. As far as the Cowboys, I think this team can score with the best of them, obviously. I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback. He made some mistakes early in this game that was uncharacteristic. Some errant throws, and then just making bad decisions, throwing in double coverage, and a really bad interception at the beginning of the game. But they got the running game going. CD got open whenever he wanted to. He was dropping a lot of passes. George Pickens was dominant, $140, and a touchdown, I think, as well, if I'm not mistaken. That duo has been lethal, arguably the best in the league. Definitely in a conversation for it. So I think this offense is going to be very good for a few years to come. They have to make it priority to sign George Pickens in the offseason. They have to make it a priority to re-sign George Pickens in the offseason. They also have to upgrade his defense, which they have the draft capital to do. Honestly, so I think this team, I've been saying it all year, but they can really turn this thing around in one offseason and be back to being like a threat in the NFC, but they have to invest in the defense. And also, there's no way they can troll this offseason. Jerry can't play any games with George Pickens' contract. I will pretty much just give him whatever he wants, honestly. The way he's playing is like a top 10 wide receiver in the league. So I don't think he should do a thing where he like tries to play hardball and all that type of shit this offseason. I really don't think he do. Let me look at the Cowboys schedule because they are 5-5-1. They definitely have a chance.
Got a couple of games.
It's Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants.
Okay, so I mean, for the Cowboys, it might be. Who knows? That defense is still.
Yeah, their toughest against the Chiefs, Lions.
I think the Chargers are still a semi-tough game for them. I think I'm not going to stamp that yet.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be. I'm not saying they're going to win. I guess if they have a chance to lose, it's a tough game. But I don't know. The Chargers aren't good. I'm not going to lie. They do have a tough schedule.
They got to win. They got to win at least 4.
Yeah, I really don't think they can lose more than one game or 1 or 2 maybe.
They can maybe make it 10-7.
Commanders should be a win. Chargers
they can't. They got to go 1-1, and then they can't drop no game for the rest of the year.
I think that if they can lose to the Lions and the Chiefs, but they got to win the next 4 probably.
Yeah.
But they'll put them at 9-7-1, right?
Yeah. So that means the Niners, either the Niners, Lions, or Packers can't win more than 9 games.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough road, but 9-7-1 wouldn't be terrible considering everything that happened. Trading Michael Parsons, CD going out for a few weeks in the season. I think it'll be a good evaluation year, to be honest. Just got to fix his defense in the offseason. Then they could, bro. If they fix his defense in the offseason, they can be a threat in the NFC. They genuinely can, like for sure. The running game is back to being good with Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue. I know Jaden Blue has been out with an injury or whatever, but the offense line is good as well. So this team has the makings of a good team. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. Q, how did the Cowboys come back in this game? What does this game mean for the Eagles, if anything at all? Honestly,
this game doesn't really mean anything for both sides because, like I said, like this is a divisional matchup. This is usually how this game goes. Usually, the home team wins. I understand Philly, I guess, in everybody, most people's eyes, just like the superior team, so they should be beating everybody, and this is like a blip. But like you check the tape, like you check the resume, it's like this usually happens. They started out hot, 21-0, got up real good. But after that, it was a tale of two halves, just how the Eagles have been all year. Dallas was able to get that 7 points going into the half, and then came out, got three and outs, and then went on to score. George Pickens had an amazing day. He's entering that top 10 wide receiver conversation. I think he's pretty much top 10, best year of his career. Should get paid. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd try to sign him right now, tonight, before the night is over, before the price goes up. But yeah, Philly is still second in the conference, so it shouldn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. They know their issues. I understand AJ had a great game, but they went away from what was working and they end up losing. So you're probably still gonna hear AJ noise. The Cowboys should feel real good. Like you said, they fixed their defense. They should be fine. They got 2 first-round picks. They go lead the draft with like Caleb Downs and like an edge rusher. They should be good.
Didn't they trade one of them?
Nah, they traded next year's pick. They traded one of next year's pick, whichever one's the worst one. But they got their 2 first-round pick. They got the 2 first-round picks in this draft. So if they get a pass rusher and Caleb Downs, you got a safety and an edge rusher, you should be good. Ezra Rocco's been fine. You still got Quentin Williams with a whole all season. Osa, Kenny Clark. So they have the bones of a good team, and as long as you keep the weapon core together, they should be good.
All right. Let's move on. Got a would you rather for George Pickens. Q, do you have the names for this?
Oh no, but I could spit off names right. 2.5.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. What'd you say, Max?
No, never mind. I'll let him do his thing.
You go ahead, Q. You got it.
All right. We're gonna be doing a would you rather George Pickens edition. First name up, T. Higgins.
Taking George Pickens.
Yeah, it's coming from I love T. Higgins, but no, this year especially, yeah, George has been much better.
I think he's arguably a better deep threat. He can do more after the catch, and I think his route tree has really expanded this year as well. He made a point. He's not a great route runner or anything, but neither is T. Higgins. But people were saying that all he can do is deep ball, like the deep ball stuff. His route tree was really limited, and I think he's made a point to expand that this offseason. Well, this year, pardon me.
Second name up, Jalen Waddle.
George Pickens. It's not even a debate. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think Jalen Waddle can do much. I think Jalen Waddle can do a lot with a better quarterback than what he has right now. But I think Pickens is better after the catch. He's more physical, better deep threat. So yeah, I'm going with Pickens.
I'll go with George as well.
Third name up, Smitty.
I'll go with Pickens. I've never been a Smitty guy. I think I've been like, and that's no hate against him. I just think what I look for in a receiver. We talked about this when we were talking about our wide receiver duos. We're at the start of the year when we were talking about it. I've never been as high on Smitty as other people. Especially I think as a one in a situation. I'd be curious to see what he would do, but I would take Pickens over him right now.
Okay.
I'm going with DeVonta Smith. I think that he would do. I feel like he's being underutilized and underappreciated because his quarterback is an average quarterback.
I'll bet you will.
I think he's a better route runner than George Pickens. I think he's a excellent deep play wide receiver. Not saying he's better than George Pickens in that aspect, but he has great hands. He's great at the catch point despite his size. Really, really physical despite his size. And I think he clears him as a route runner. Like I don't think it's close whatsoever. I think Pickens is probably a little better after the catch. But I'm going George Pickens. I mean, I'm going Devonta Smith, which would be like that would be recognized if he wasn't playing with Jalen Hurts. No trouble.
Fourth name up, JSN.
JSN easily clearest.
All right. Last name, CD Lamb.
CD
Lamb. Like, I mean, I think George Pickens is better this year, especially with CD's drops in crucial moments.
He got injured, bro. Doesn't matter. He's injured.
What does it got to do with his,
He's injured.
What's it got to do with his drops?
Not playing healthy, bro.
I think George Pickens has really benefited from having another elite wide receiver, or an elite wide receiver on the not because I don't think George Pickens is elite, but having an elite wide receiver on the opposite side of him. And he was still hooping with CD out, so for sure. But obviously when he's came back, he kept that up. Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's way too early to even have this debate. Honestly, I'm going with CD.
All right, that's cool.
All right, we back. We back. Let's go. We back. He's finally conquered close game struggles versus the Colts, man. Hey, listen, I was dooming. The beginning of this game had me in a really bad mood. I didn't want to watch football for the rest of the day. They were down 20-9. Mahomes was playing literally terrible, missing wide open players, throwing inaccurate passes. On the one or two plays they did try to attempt the deep ball, he couldn't connect. He was rushing through his progressions. He was bailing out of clean pockets. It was very uncharacteristic, but that's what Lou Anarumo does to Patrick Mahomes nowadays, I guess. Well, not nowadays, historically. So I was very, very not feeling the Chiefs' performance, and I'll get into it because I'm not a Chiefs fan, but Patrick Mahomes is my guy. He's been my guy forever. I think with their backs on the wall, their season on the line, pretty much, the Chiefs showed their championship resolve. They showed their championship resolve. I thought for sure this game was over when they were down 11 to the Colts. They were stopping the run, but Daniel Jones was dicing them up. Shane Steichen was calling an amazing game. The Colts seemed like they were fully in control of this game. And then for the last quarter and a half, the Chiefs defense just shut them out. They stopped the run. They got pressure on Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones kind of reverted back to the guy he has been in New York. He threw some inaccurate passes under pressure. He wasn't reading the field well at all. But right when you thought the Chiefs season was over, Patrick Mahomes put the team on his back. Chris Jones made some excellent plays. Travis Kelce stepped up. Rashee Rice was amazing in this game. Made some really nice plays. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. The Chiefs were 0-5 in these one-score games. Every team they lost to was a playoff team, and they finally come through when they most needed it. I think this team I literally think this team can win every single game for the rest of the season. Well, I think this team can win every single game for the rest of the regular season. And I know that's kind of tough to say considering they're 6-5 right now. But they have some of the best losses in the NFL. Like all their losses have been to teams with winning records. And they've all been by one score. Let me look at the Chiefs schedule. They got the Cowboys coming up on Thanksgiving. I will favor them in that game. They got the Texans, who are going to be a very, very tough game. The Texans defense is all world. We just saw what they did to the Bills. That's gonna be a tough game. So realistically, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games. Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more games. Right? Am I tripping? 1, 2, 3, 4. How do we have 6 more games?
That would make sense. They'd be 12-5.
Yeah, okay, cool. The Chiefs have 6 more games this season. I think they go 5-1. I do. I think they end up 11-6. The Texans is going to be an extremely tough game. The Cowboys aren't someone you can just look past at all. The Chargers, I think they beat them at home. The Chargers are depleted. They're going to beat them. The Titans they're going to beat them. And I think the Broncos is going to be another tough game. They're at home. And the Raiders are terrible. So they don't have a very big margin of error. If they lose 2 more times this season, their season is over. But I think they're going to go 5-1 to end this stretch. Let me see if I can get the stat. Why did they give me this? Hold on. But the analytics this season has loved them. I think they're probably one of the best 6-5 teams in NFL history because their point differential is so large. Their strength of victory, I mean, their strength of loss is so good. Let me look at this. NFL SRS. Why does it give me? But yeah, I think the Chiefs are. I think we were last week. We talked about is this end of the dynasty? Is the season over? Are going to miss the playoffs? I think we jumped the gun a little bit too much on that. Obviously, they continue to lose. They continue to find ways to lose one-score games, but this was a very, very pivotal win for them. And I think the fact that they won this one-score game against the Colts, one of the best teams in the entire NFL, can be a momentum-changing win, a season-changing win. Max, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs finally winning a one-score game this season?
I don't really have much to say, I guess. I was shocked with how the game looked, but I wasn't shocked with how the game ended. I feel like we've seen this song and dance before. We get nervous about the Chiefs, and they come back and they make the playoffs, and then they'll do their thing. So I get them being on the road in the playoffs is a new thing, but it's going to be tough for me to still pick against them in the playoffs, even with everything that's happened this year. I still have a tough time picking against them.
What did you think of Daniel Jones? My other thing with this as well, I want to ask you this. Can the Colts or Q2, can the Colts win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones at quarterback?
No. I will say no. I think the whole idea of having a game.
Can the Colts win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones at quarterback?
No.
It'd be very hard because we know Daniel Jones' limitations when it comes to like pressure, and that's all that happens. Like between on-field pressure and just like psychological pressure, the farther you go in the playoffs, he's probably just gonna crumble. The easiest path, like same thing with Jared Goff, you have to have everything perfect. And the Colts they have a very good roster. They don't have like a near perfect roster. I probably say it's top 10. They probably need to be closer to top 5. And they definitely need like the 1 seed. So that they only like 2 games away from the Super Bowl. All those things have to happen for them to even sniff the Super Bowl. And that's a slim chance. So no, I don't think that could happen.
I just feel like, bro, despite the loss to the Chiefs, I think the Colts are still contenders because they present a problem for a lot of teams. Like it's going to be incredibly hard to stop. Jonathan
Taylor.
Thank you. It's going to be incredibly hard to stop Jonathan Taylor, and that's what's required to be the team because Shane Steichen is calling plays with the best of them right now. And so you have to stop Jonathan Taylor. That's a very tall task. Or I think Daniel Jones is good enough to execute this offense. So you have to stop the run, and you have to get pressure on Daniel Jones. And that's going to be very hard to do against this offensive line, against that running back with a coordinator calling plays as well as Shane Steichen is calling plays. So I think that obviously you don't trust Daniel Jones in the playoffs. Definitely not. You don't trust Daniel Jones in the playoffs. But this team is a contender, and I can't see them making the Super Bowl. I just can't because the makeup of their team. When DeForest Buckner comes back, they're going to be able to get pressure on quarterbacks. Sauce Gardner, his addition has I think is going to really help their secondary, and Charvarius Ward coming back from injury is going to help them as well. I think this is a really complete team, a really well coached team on both sides of the ball. Lou Anarumo is one of the best defense coordinators in the league. This team is a contender, and I still think that after their loss to the Chiefs, Daniel Jones has not looked great over the last 4 weeks. He looks like he's reverting back a little bit to you can see those blemishes of the quarterback he was on the Giants. However, I don't know how many teams can have the game script to stop Jonathan Taylor and also get pressure on Daniel Jones. And also, you have to stop Jonathan Taylor, get pressure on Daniel Jones, and kind of have the corners to stop the wide receivers. Because to begin this game, they were sending 4 to blitz him. That definitely wasn't working. They sent more pressure to blitz him, and Tyler Warren was open. Michael Pittman was open. If you send pressure like that, you kind of got to play zone, and he was killing his zone. So I think it's really hard to stop them. I'll have to rewatch to see how they did it in the second half because they didn't score pretty much after the beginning of the third quarter. And I need to rewatch the game. But I think that the Colts are going to be a very, very hard team to stop come playoff time. Even come playoff time. I don't think this is the Vikings last year. I keep saying that. I don't think this is the Vikings last year.
You think they're actually threats? You think they're threats?
Yes. This team's a threat. The Colts are threats to go to the Super Bowl. Will I have them winning it? No. The Rams, I think will beat them. But I think the Chiefs also will beat them. But my point is, I do think they are in the thick of it in the AFC. This NFL season has been so weird where there's no clear favorite. And I think the Colts are among those teams. If I'm right now today, you asked me to pick them or the Bills, I'm saying the Colts. I'm not gonna lie. And me and Q already talked about this. I don't know if you saw the episode, Max. I'm picking them over the Bills 2 days to win against the Bills because I don't think the Bills can stop the run. I don't think the Bills have the requisite weapons on the outside. And when DeForest Buckner comes back, I think they can get pressure on Josh Allen. And getting pressure on Josh Allen with the weapons that they have this year has been the recipe for the Bills to lose. And they also can't stop the run. So, yeah. I mean, I think the Colts are threats. Q. I don't know if he's here right now. But, Max, I want to ask you this before we move on. Did the Chiefs save their season with his win?
Sure. Because I think I definitely would have lost. I'm someone who definitely thinks the Chiefs will be in the running until they're statistically eliminated. So, but this loss would have been. This was one I thought they would have, and I would have been very surprised if they lost it. But
yeah, I feel you. Last topic of the show, we're gonna talk about Shedeur Sanders. He won his first start against the Raiders. I think he had 200 yards passing, a touchdown.
Two plays alone, he had 110.
Yeah. He made a few big plays in this game. I think he had an 89 passer rating.
I don't know. He had the 66-yard touchdown, the 50-yard bomb.
Yeah, 60-yard touchdown was a screen pass. But hey, is anybody gonna remember that when we look back at the record books? No. 11 for 20, 209 yards. He took 1 sack, 83 passer rating, and they get the 24-10 win over the Raiders. We're gonna talk about both sides of these teams, but Max and then Q comes back. Max, I want you to grade Shedeur Sanders' first start of his career.
I mean, it's probably I mean, he won. That's big. I'd give
I think this is the first time this is like the first time the Broncos. This is like the first time the Browns scored 20 points in like 2 years.
Like, I'm thinking, I don't know, it's around a B. It's around a B grade. Like, again, what he was 11 for 21, a touchdown to pick. Like, it wasn't beautiful, but you got the win. You scored 3 touchdowns on offense. I don't know. Like, the Raiders are the Raiders, obviously, but I didn't have like a world of expectations for this phenomenal game. Like, he got a win, a couple flashy plays, and like it looked relatively easy. So it was kind of done. I don't
What
know,
did you,
BB plus, something like that. BB plus.
I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give him a C. I think
Harsh. Your
that's not harsh.
expectations are way too high for a first thought. Like,
No, that's not harsh. That's not
I
harsh.
feel like
That's
him coming in at the middle of the year too ruins it as well.
bro, he had a whole week. He had a whole week to prepare for the Raiders, bro. It's the
A
Raiders.
week.
It's the Raiders. This is one of the worst teams in the NFL, bro. Come on, I'm not doing that.
But the Browns aren't much better. The Browns offense is not much better.
That's true. I think the offense looked clunky at times. Obviously, that's not all on Shedeur. For sure, it's not. He made 2 really good plays in the beginning of the game. He would have had more yards if Jerry Jeudy wasn't an idiot. All things, I think he was solid. Like, I don't think he was good. I don't think he was bad. I think he was right in the middle. I think he was solid. It's obviously great to get your first win of your career. Oh, Max, let me ask you this. Shane Steichen failed to name a starting quarterback for next week.
Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah. Kevin Stefanski failed to name a starting quarterback going into next week after the game. Do you think they should continue with Shedeur Sanders or go back to Dillon Gabriel?
I mean, they're both rookies. They're both young. Obviously, you're going to go through growing pains. Like, I think the hate on Dillon Gabriel is not entirely warranted. But, like, Gabriel looked pretty bad in spurts. And I get Shedeur looked bad last game. He looked great in that, just fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter. Like, sure, I would say give it to him. I'd say let him go. I don't know. I would say why not? Like, I don't really know what you won the game. You got your 3 touchdowns. The offense looked like it kind of was gelling at times. Like, who do they have next week? I was just checking it up.
I think it's not I don't think it's a tough. I think it's like they have a tough game, and then after that they
play us in 2 weeks. They play us in 2 weeks. I know.
Oh, that's not a tough game.
Or 2 or 3 weeks.
The 49ers.
Honestly, the 49ers defense. We'll look at it tomorrow with Bryce Young. I mean, not that scary right now with all the injuries and stuff. So yeah, I would say like let Shedeur go. I don't know. I really think that they're at a point where, like, if they get a top 5 pick, they're still probably going to draft a quarterback and throw another guy in the mix. So I don't really think they know what they have. Again, I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone's like, huh?
They know they have Quinshon Judkins. They know they have Harry Fenner Jr. They know they have.
But I'm talking about quarterback position. I understand, sure, and you have a good defense. I'm strictly talking about the quarterback position, the most important position in the NFL, maybe in all of sports. So I think they don't know what they have. I don't think anyone's convinced with Shedeur yet. So I think you gotta give someone a shot and let him go. You gave Dillon, I think, 3 games and it didn't look great. So maybe give Shedeur a game or 2 and see if he can keep rolling with it. But I would say yes, start Shedeur.
I think the Browns have no choice but to start Shedeur. No choice. You saw plenty of time. You saw plenty of games from Dillon Gabriel. You know he is not the answer. Give Shedeur his 5 to 6 games. Give him his fair opportunity to show whether or not you should continue this experiment with him. In his first game, he was really solid. He didn't have that much time to prepare for this game. And he played solid. He made some really good plays. Made his fair share of questionable plays too, but again, first start of his career. They have saw what Dillon Gabriel is. Shedeur Sanders, even though I don't think he is that great at the moment, he's much more of an unknown than what Dylan Gabriel has shown. So I think it will almost be malpractice not to let Shedeur start going into next week at least. Like at that point, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for the Shedeur, but this is the Browns' first win in a minute. I think the locker room may even feel.
I would agree. The locker
room. I think if Kevin Stefanski hasn't already lost locker room, he would lose it benching a guy after coming off a win. Like, so I think it would be coaching malpractice almost to bench Shedeur Sanders again after him playing pretty solid in his first start of his career. That's my thoughts on that. I gave him a C. I think he obviously can be better. So I'm excited to see what he has going forward. But yeah, I think malpractice to put Dylan Gabriel out there. And now let's talk about the flip side of this. The Raiders.
Hold up.
I
know you were here. I know you were here. Yeah. I know you're here. You haven't said anything.
No, the Browns organization may be historically bad. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are not dumb people. Kevin Stefanski is not a bad coach in like no stretch of the imagination.
I agree, but I don't think he likes Shedeur.
To make this the moment where people start trying to like turn on Kevin Stefanski as if like he didn't like wasn't like a good coach is just ridiculous. They're not gonna bench Shedeur. This is exactly what they had planned. Like you had your veterans start a couple games. The moment you realize you weren't going nowhere, you start your rookie for the next couple of games. Now he got 4, 5, 6 games, and then you start your other rookie for 4, 5, 6 games. That's exactly how they wanted this to pan out. And that's exactly what happened.
Are you sure?
Now they're gonna get their 6 games with Shedeur to see if that's what they're gonna ride out with going into next year. And if not, they just move on and draft the quarterback. That's always been the plan. All the other nonsense has always been silly and stupid.
I don't know. The reason they didn't want Shedeur Sanders. You know what I'm saying? So,
but exactly the point. To criticize anything after the point as if like they did anything to Shedeur was always stupid. No disrespect to anybody that was doing that, but he was always going to get that's how the NFL goes. Nobody gives a damn what Gardner Minshew is doing right now because he's a backup. He's not getting first team reps. Nobody cares. It's just because it was Shedeur Sanders. Like he was a regular 5th round pick. That's how 5th round picks get treated. Nobody really cared unless it was Shedeur Sanders. That's what happened.
They shouldn't have drafted him.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have drafted. Everybody passed on him. Everybody should have been clapping up the Browns for taking the bullet since everybody passed on him, not criticizing them for taking him in the 5th instead of taking him in the 3rd when they didn't want him in the 3rd. They drafted who they wanted.
They shouldn't have took him at all if you know what I'm saying. They shouldn't have took him at all.
Sure, but the goalposts keep moving. It's damn, everybody's in cahoots to damn the Browns drafted him. They should have drafted him in the 3rd over Dylan Gabriel to damn, they not giving him no reps. Damn, they sabotage like every single time. Something that just normally happens is somehow some type of conspiracy. It just was silly to me.
I don't think it's conspiracy. My thoughts is I really like. I don't think Kevin Stefanski is fond of him as a player. Like I don't think he is. I don't think he's shown that at all.
And my thing is he could have that opinion.
None of them one of them. Like when they drafted him, you saw the draft room.
Yeah, and people and my thing is people acting like that's such a crime that he didn't want the player. Like he didn't want the player. Like that's just what it is. A bunch of other people ain't want the player either. We're more upset at the guy that didn't want him but got him anyway over the people that like the Saints who passed on him. Like the Saints had a chance to get him. They probably could have been starting him right now. But nobody's saying nothing about the Saints. He just going off the person that felt like he fell into their laps. Like that's just what it is. The only criticism I could give the Browns is if Shedeur looked like that and Dylan Gabriel looked how he looked in practice and they didn't make that switch. But I understand why they wouldn't have made that switch because all their time was really invested in their actual starting quarterback and the rookie that they drafted higher. So it's like I'm still not going to be upset about him because that's just the process.
Yeah, I don't know. again, I think it's just bad process from the Browns in terms of drafting the worst quarterback prospect first, also, and then making it like you brought yourself a whole bunch of unwanted attention. They probably made a lot of money off it, actually, to be honest. The Shedeur jerseys, all that type of stuff. Dylan Gabriel was clearly going to be a bad quarterback. I don't think. That was like very clear. Didn't take a genius to see that. But that's neither here nor there. Shedeur Sanders, good. A solid performance in his first start. Now let's flip to the Raiders. The Raiders came into the season after having a bad year last year and firing Antonio Pierce. They got Pete Carroll, who is a veteran head coach, has won a lot of games. They got Chip Kelly. They got Geno Smith, who has been good for the last. I know we talked about it earlier. Chip Kelly, who is, I don't think much of him, but hey, highest paid OC in the league they just fired. Where do the Raiders go from here? Because this would be the Raiders' third straight year firing their head coach and drastically changing the makeup of their team if they fire Pete Carroll this offseason. If they already moved off of Chip Kelly. Max, should they fire Pete Carroll at the end of the year?
To be honest, I don't care. Like, this team sucks. This team is so bad. And honestly, I feel for them. Like, you make all these moves in the offseason, get Geno, re-sign Crosby, I think, get Genty. People are hyped up on the team. Like, Pete Carroll's a flashy name. Chip Kelly's a flashy name. Like, whatever. This is one where, like, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get fired, I don't think, at least. But I think he should, just for the fact that you need to restart this. You got to NFL teams in sports in general don't do this as far as just hitting the reset button super hard and just counting your losses and restarting. Because you need to make money. You need to fill seats. Like, there's a business side of it that's not just sports. But I think if the Raiders did what they were supposed to do right now, they would completely revamp. You trade Crosby. You get everyone out of there. You get whatever you can. You start your rebuild now. With Genty, with Bowers, you move forward with them as your core pieces. And unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to happen. So I would say, yes, he should, just to get a change of the guard, because Geno's gone. He's not going to be that, like, you need to restart everything, but I don't think it happens.
Cute.
I don't think that they're probably not going to fire Pete Carroll right away. Like I said, like the last episode, you got Geno for the next 2 years. Well, this year, next year for sure. Pete Carroll for the same amount of time. You drafted Genty hot. You have to invest in that offensive line. Everything in the offseason got to go towards offensive line and defense. See if you got something with Genty, who, like, I understand, like, the offensive line is bad, but he also wasn't like this great running back prospect. Cause like they could transcend bad offensive line play. He just wasn't one of those guys. And you're seeing that he's not really like super productive. And you took running back with like the 6th pick, 8th pick, whatever the case may be. Just you got to invest in that. You got to see what you got with that. They probably should have took Shedeur and sat him or something like that. But yeah, they got to see what they got at least next year. And after that, wipe the slate clean. Probably make the trigger and pull the trigger and trade Max Crosby regardless if you retire or not, and then rehaul this thing, because they're not going to compete in the division no time soon with Bo Nix and Sean Payton, Justin Herbert, and then Patrick Mahomes. They're just always going to be last.
Yeah, I think the Raiders had to clean house this offseason. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to do after firing your last 2 head coaches. This would be your third head. This would be your third head coach in 3 years. McDaniels, Pierce. No, this would be their fourth. McDaniels, Pierce, right? This would be their 4th head coach in 4 years. Next year, if they hire a new head coach, but
it'd be 5-5 technically, to be honest. Yeah, it's Versace and all that.
This has been a dumpster fire organization, but they have to clean house. Pete Carroll is very old. I think he's lost his juice. Geno Smith has completely regressed. You have young talent with Genty and Brock Bowers. Outside of that, I think you should probably trade Max Crosby while his value is at its highest to really jumpstart this rebuild, because this team was supposed to be a competitive team in the AFC this year, and they are the furthest thing from it. Nothing from this team of significance outside of Genty and Bowers should really come back. Honestly, the offensive line is bad. Defense is terrible. The coaching terrible. Like, you have to rebuild this thing from the ground up. Surrounding Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty with as much talent as possible, as much young talent as possible going forward. That's pretty much all I got to say about the Raiders. Terrible season. Geno Smith, you were my guy. You're off the team, bro. You're cut. I'm not defending you anymore. I defended you for long enough. I will not defend your play this year. Terrible. That's all I got to say. That's gonna do it for week 12 recap. Episode 163, I guess. You made it this far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with your friends. Tell them it's a pretty cool podcast. And yeah, we out. Good night.